so again, we are here in love and in light and in truth. And we wanted to just speak about at this moment the feminine principle and why we have chosen to come as a feminine principle in this communication. You will see that a lot of channels currently come in their male form, which doesn't mean that they do not in spirit have the female counterpart that they could communicate through. We've chosen the female because we believe it is the feminine principle that is most needed on this planet. And that principle encompasses compassion, forgiveness, nurturing, healing, creativity, harmony, abundance. That is what it encompasses in, let's say, broad terms. Intimately, it is something far greater than that. It is the, if you have, let's take a soul as a whole, it is both male and female. Therefore, it can receive and act. It can generate energy, that's its receptive part, and then use that energy to act upon something, to create something, to manifest. Now, when you come into this world, into this physical form, because there has been this polarity of male and female, good and bad, dark and light, you have chosen to come in as either male or female. Now, of course, you have some situations on this planet that are developing where you have mixtures of this. You also have gay communities. You have those that come in one gender and wish to be another. These are different aspects. We won't discuss them right now, but they are manifesting more and more for various different reasons, and that is to bring you to the point of understanding, in fact, that you have both sides. Now, you do have both aspects within yourself. However, at this moment, if you have chosen to come in as a male, you have chosen to be that male side of your soul, because that is the side of your soul that either needs healing or needs to be more acknowledged, okay? Or chooses to be that part upon the planet, to play that role upon the planet. And the male side is to act, yes? It is like a laser. It is very focused. It thinks on one thing, remains focused, and cuts through everything in order to get there. It is not waylaid, or it cannot be, how can we say, influenced by outside. Yes, it is extremely focused, extremely directed, and manifests with precision. The feminine aspect of the soul, so if you have chosen to come in as the feminine, yes, you have chosen to come in the receptive part of yourself. So therefore, you have chosen to be, let's say, like that part of the magnet that draws everything in and then creates. So you are the part that nurtures, that teaches the planet how to forgive, that brings about messages to receive. You receive messages, you receive guidance. You are the tenderness, the gentle side of nature. And together there is a balance of receiving and acting, or giving. Receiving and giving, we will put it very simply. So, what you have, if you have too much male energy, yes, too much action, too much testosterone as you call it, you will have aggression when it gets out of order. You have aggression, you have fights, you have competition. That's the negative side of the male. If you have too much of the feminine, you don't do anything. Yes, you become sometimes, you're talking too much, you procrastinate, you cannot get anything done, you're waylaid too much, you are easily led. You see, these are the negative aspects of those sides. And they are made manifest. And the reason that they are made more manifest on this planet at this moment, so you have a lot of people who do not know what they are doing in life. They are roaming around endlessly, whether they are male or female. It doesn't matter. They could be in the negative side of their female. They don't know how to act. They cannot manifest. They feel helpless, useless, powerless, etc. Or you have the negative side of the male that are pushy, bullying, domineering, controlling, this aspect. And it is these wounded aspects that most need your attention and need to be healed at the moment. Now, when you have all these wounds, then you have a imbalance within society. So you have societies that, let's just take societies that do not acknowledge the feminine principle, do not allow her to be seen, do not allow her to be active within the community. These are very aggressive societies. They are male-dominated societies. And they are not gentle. And they are not creating peace. They are creating war constantly, amongst themselves and externally. If you have somewhere where there is an overuse of the feminine principle, the creative, the soft and everything, then you have a lot of poverty. You have people who cannot act because they are in this victim mentality. So you have these huge, huge imbalances. And then you have countries where you do have people who are in their empowerment. And they are struggling, you are struggling to bring about the balances in these other worlds, in these other countries. And we are saying to you to put this into balance within yourself first. If you are in the feminine in this lifetime, that means that part of your mission is to understand how to receive. Now, we do personal channelings. We've done thousands. And we cannot tell you how many women we have that come to us and say they do not have a partner. When they do get a partner, they find themselves doing everything within the relationship. In other words, playing the main role, acting too much, giving too much, and never receiving. We have them feeling exhausted, powerless, and out of control because they do not know to be in harmony within themselves. They do not know the feminine principle. And if they are not in the feminine principle, if they are in their male aspect, then the men that they attract can only go into their female in order to be present in the relationship. In other words, if she is doing everything, if she is controlling everything, if she is the active, focused part of the relationship, the male, in order to stay, has to become in his feminine. Now, when he goes in his feminine, because he doesn't like it, he's not used to it, he goes into the negative side, which is to do nothing, to be a poor me, to be a victim. And, of course, you have one person carrying the relationship. If this female can go into her feminine, and it has nothing to do with surrendering equality or surrendering your career or surrendering your needs or desires. No, not at all. It has to do with how you manifest. It has to do with what leads you. What is your guiding light in everything that you do? And you know, it can be complicated, but it's not. It is very simple. In order for a feminine principle to manifest in this physical plane, we're talking about on planet Earth, we're not talking about in spirit. She must go into the receptive side of herself. In other words, she must surrender. She must surrender and receive this energy. Yes?
Well, do you have anything to add to conclude the subject, please?
Well, we have more to say on this subject.
Okay.
So we will do another communication.